Welcome back to the Tara Palmeri Show.
I think there's going to be some scandal or gossip. I think there's going to be something sort of vicious in circulation around the midterms and circulating around the Republicans. Something that bubbles up from things that people are talking about, that kind of get into the political bloodstream.
Life is so confusing and uncertain, and we are constantly seeking answers. Some people decide to go to tarot card readers, psychics, fortune tellers, spiritual guides, clairvoyants, and that includes people in politics, right? In Washington, people do the same to try to figure out the political waves and the winds and how they're going to blow, what scandal could possibly take down the party, who will rise up from the ashes. You'd be surprised. People who are ambitious, they often want a lot of information, and they'll go to anyone for it.
The wife of the President of the United States would call Joan Quigley and would talk to her for a couple of hours on the telephone.
Yes.
And would talk about what time a treaty should be signed, the INF Treaty, for instance, or what time Air Force One should take off.
Yes, but I'm a very good technical astrologer, and I know how to schedule time. I also affected definitely the relationship between the superpowers because of my reading of Gorbachev's horoscope.
So on this show, I talked to my next guest, Julie Mason of The Julie Mason Show on SiriusXM Politics POTUS channel.
A lot of randos ask for readings, like congressional staffers and political people and other reporters, so you never know.
She brought cards! We go into all the biggest topics like Trump's new plane from Qatar, the passage of the big, beautiful bill through the House. Obviously, it's just the first step. We talk about Trump's meme coin party with all the crypto bros. And then we get into some murkier territory, stuff that requires predicting the future. And that is when it gets fun. And Julie Mason pulls a few of her tarot cards because in addition to being a veteran political journalist, she is known for using tarot cards. We talk about the political futures of people like JD Vance, Marco Rubio, and Don Jr.
Oh no, he's good. He's going to make bank. The death card. Yeah.
Stop! How will the midterm elections shake out? And how long will the Biden story dog the Democratic Party? Who will end up leading it after all this? Julie pulls a lot of cards. I think you'd be surprised to hear how it all shakes out. It's a fun one. I also reveal one of my superpowers, and it's repopulating the Earth, but not in the way that you think. Julie, thank you for joining the show.
It's a pleasure.
Something that people don't know maybe about Julie, who I've known for, I think, almost 15 years now, since I was a cub reporter at the Washington Examiner, and you were the big bad White House correspondent then.
Was I scary?
Yeah, you were.
Okay, thanks.
Totally. And I sat on the opposite side of the newsroom from you, and I kind of watched you from afar, and you would come in with your swagger coming back from the White House, and I would just be like, who is this bad bitch? And, it was cool.
Yeah. And you were fearless and adorable. We all loved you.
You're sweet. I don't know about that. I'm sure it was very annoying as well. But, Julie, you have like one of the biggest personalities in town, and people may not know this about you, but you like to read tarot cards.
Tarot cards, yes. I've been doing it for like decades, but it's on my Wikipedia page. So, right? So people see that, and a lot of randos ask for readings, like congressional staffers and political people and other reporters. So you never know. Never know who's going to.
Yeah, I'm going to have to describe you. I'm going to have to describe you as tarot card reader, Julie Mason, over journalist. So, but I think like for this show, because it will be aired in the future from recording, we should maybe try to make some predictions based on our own reporting and analysis, because we know that we've got a few days until this will publish. And I have a new segment on my show called Tara Cards, obviously, because of the way in my Jersey accent I say Tara, more like Tarot. So let's talk about just like the past, 24 hours last week. President Trump, oh God, head and hands, I see it. I don't even know where to start, but let's start with the jumbo jet, because I think that is like a visual of, in my opinion, grift that can only be described in like, I don't know any other words to describe it, but also just like a bad deal the more you read about it. So the Qataris, apparently, according to the New York Times, were trying to sell this jet for a while. And when Steve Witkoff got involved, and by the way, Steve Witkoff, who is President Trump's almost like de facto Secretary of State, he's the envoy to everywhere, Ukraine, Middle East. When he got involved, he thought, why would we buy this from you guys? Like, you should just give it to us as a gift. And the Qataris bailed him out of his Park Lane Hyatt, I believe, or I'm blanking on the name of it, Park Lane Hotel in Midtown Manhattan. So he was like, no, like, just give us the plane, because they've been trying to sell it for 5 years. And it's really quite opulent, double-decker, like, beautiful. It's worthy of a crown prince, you could say. And President Trump became enamored with it. According to the Times, he came out to see it. He went to the private jet landing area in Florida, and he was like, must have, want, need. And now it's in San Antonio, Texas, and the Air Force is looking at it and they're like, this is going to take a really long time to retrofit this, to turn it into a flying situation room. Like, it needs to be, like, if there's a nuclear attack, it needs to be able to sustain that in the air, which is insane. And it will cost, they say, over $1 billion. And the guy who was trying to sell it for 5 years, by the way, he's quoted by the Times saying that it's ridiculous. That's his own words. There's a better dollar value trying to take an airplane from somebody else and trying to make it into a presidential plane. It makes no sense. He says you're better off just buying a new plane altogether, which President Trump ordered back during his first term from Boeing, but they're taking forever. And I can understand the frustration of like wanting Boeing to just finish the job. But I guess it takes a long time to create a flying White House. What are your thoughts, Julie? Does he get it on the way out and it's just like his gift for being president?
You and I have both flown on Air Force One, and we know how complex and impenetrable it is. I mean, it has anti-missile technology, as you allude to. You know, what I'm curious about, Tara, is during Trump's first term, when he had some harebrained ideas that nobody liked, they would slow walk it and study it and look at it to death. And all the predictions are that bringing this plane up to code to be the new Air Force One will take, billions of dollars and many years. And I'm curious to see if they're going to slow walk it so that it can never be used as Air Force One, and he just gets to keep it as a parting gift in his presidency. That feels like what should happen. But I don't know. I mean, this is his second term, and he seems to be getting what he wants. Like, for example, I'm thinking of the parade, right? He wanted a parade his first term, and they studied it to death until the idea went away. And Mayor Bowser was like, yeah, that's going to tear up the roads. No, it's going to cost too much money. And Mattis was like, no, we're not doing that. And so like it just went away. And I'm curious if this plane is going to follow the same trajectory, if it's going to be more like the parade this time around, where suddenly everyone finds a way to make it happen.
Yeah, I think, it's curious. I mean, if it was actually going to be used for, as a skiff in the sky, you would literally need to take it apart to make sure that there are no bugs in it. It's a foreign country.
I know.
And that takes they're quoting it at $1 billion to redo this plane, to completely retrofit it. So I could see them just giving it, like you said, giving it to him at the end. But even afterwards, like, he likes to talk about classified things, as we know, after he's in office. He did that after he was, left after the first term. And so is he going to continue to have those conversations in a bugged airplane? I guess Mar-a-Lago was probably bugged too. I mean, remember the spies that kind of seeped in, and I remember covering that. I guess our secrets are no longer ours anymore. We're basically walking around naked around the world.
Oh dear. Yes. Yeah. It's a great story, though. I'm really curious, Tara, to see how this is going to poll. I mean, we saw one poll so far. It was like a YouGov poll, with, not the gold standard, but people didn't really like it. But they were just learning about it. I wonder, as it settles in, is it going to become more of a symbol, something symbolic, something that drags the presidency down? He's doing so many things that are not popular, and he doesn't seem to care. And I wonder at what point does that catch up with the administration?
Yeah, I was talking to some very, some senior Senate sources, and they were just saying like this just doesn't really like pass the smell test for Republicans, even though they won't speak up because they know what it's like to go into a skiff, and this is like a secure area where you can get classified information, and you have to put your phones and your laptops and in a specialized area. And when you're traveling abroad, I mean, when we went to North Korea, we had to put all of our devices inside of these special packaged compartments that make sure that they can't bug them through the sky, through Wi-Fi. And it's just, you just go through so much security to get this kind of information because we protect it, that to senators, it just doesn't pass the smell test because they've been through this themselves on these CODEL trips and just in briefings, and they won't say anything because they're terrified of President Trump. So here we are.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Okay. All right. President Trump having 25 of the biggest investors for his Bitcoin, Trump coin?
Meme coin, his meme coin, yeah.
Meme coin, excuse me. Meme coin crypto.
Tara had another term of art for it. She called it the shit coin.
Bitcoin, yeah. I don't really know much about this, so that's probably why I called it a Bitcoin. But you're right, it is a meme coin. I've never invested in crypto, but there are 25 of the biggest investors there coming
Whoever
to a small VIP.
We don't know, probably foreign.
That's what Bloomberg is reporting, that most of them are foreign, but they're coming to a small VIP section reception for them. 80% of the Trump coins are held by the Trump organization affiliates. And so if the value increases, you would assume that they are making more money, right? And so the 220 of the winning investors at tonight's dinner have spent an extraordinary $394 million between them, which is kind of incredible. And some of them have spent as much as $10 million a head. So this is kind of something else. What do you think comes of this? What is the next Trump merchandise? Will these people end up getting positions in the administration?
Well, with regard to the dinner, it's actually, I don't know. Are you on Reddit?
I try to avoid it, but sure. Yeah.
Well, there's a whole like Trump coin discussion group on Reddit. And these are like normies who put a little bit of money because they love Trump, and they have just lost it. I mean, their holdings have lost value. They took a bath on the holdings. They're sad about the dinner. So I just want to highlight this like other side of the dinner. Like, yeah, there are all these international high rollers who are presumably flying in. They've bought their access to the president. Now what are they going to get out of it? But I also want to acknowledge like the people who bought the coin out of, fandom and thinking like Trump is rich, so his coin will make me rich. That was apparently the calculation for some. And they're just kind of shut out of all this. And that's a lot of people who put a lot of money into this coin who are sitting home tonight and not going to the Trump Golf Club for dinner. And I will say another thing, there was supposed to be a special VIP tour of the White House that followed the dinner for like the top buyers of the meme coin, and that got canceled. So that's not happening. So this has been scaled back a bit, but they did pay a lot for that coin to get access for the president. The question is why? What do they want? What's the ask?
Exactly.
It's like, Tara, it's just like when foreign leaders come to the White House, right? And you and I would always say, what's the ask? What do they want?
Right. Yeah, exactly. It kind of makes Hunter Biden's art look cute now. Well, that was grifty as well. God, the grift. Yeah. As if it's not good enough to be the most powerful person in the world, then you have to also be the richest as well.
Well, and apparently the Trump family has made just short of $3 billion in the last 6 months on crypto. So all of his moves on crypto is really benefiting the family.
Okay. So do you think he's past like T-shirts, hats, and Bibles, and it's just going to be all like financial services from now on?
Seems to be. Well, I mean, and they're also, building new like Trump branded tower type things in Vietnam, places like that, developing countries. So the trade negotiations come into it as well. I'm not saying there's anything corrupt. I'm just saying it's very coincidental.
Just saying. Okay. Julie, I really need you to pull a strong card right now out of your tarot card deck.
Okay. I got my chicken
Elon
foot.
Musk.
I got my chicken foot. Okay.
Elon Musk. Is he really done with politics?
All right. Okay. Let's find out. I'm consulting the cards.
Oh my God, she brought cards! She brought cards!
He is very preoccupied with his losses right now. Very preoccupied with his losses, which I think doesn't surprise anyone. In this card, you see, I'm trying to get it out of the glare. You see someone who's concentrated on those cups that are tipped over. He doesn't see the cups that are behind him, which indicates to me that Elon Musk is really, as we know from the news, that Elon Musk is dealing with all the money that he's lost, all his losses with Tesla and, whatever else. But he still has 2 full cups behind him. And that to me says Starlink and other money-making ventures are still going ahead. They're not getting his focus right now. He will come back to them. He will still drink from those cups. But right now, he's busy with his losses. And that's what the card indicates. And it also indicates that he will be back, but in a modified way. Not with the same, not with the same oomph that he came in. He will go out more quietly, but he is not done with our politics.
Does he feel regret or remorse over DOGE cuts that affected people or affected,
No. He thinks it's just part of doing business. I mean, he feels like he feels very burdened by questions about what's happening with him, but he's very pragmatic about that. No, he doesn't. I don't think he feels bad.
Okay. Wow. What was that card that you just pulled?
It is the 10 of Wands, Tara, the 10 of Wands.
Okay, the 10 of Wands. Okay. We got to talk about the BBB. The big, beautiful bill. It passed. I think I could have actually known that would happen without pulling a card, but it didn't actually really pass. It just got through the first vote in the House.
It just got through.
Yeah.
It's supposed to go through the Senate, which I think that's where the real sort of meat cutting begins.
Yes, exactly. And some of the Republicans in the House, they put up a fight. They folded in the end from the hammer of Trump. There's one lone member who just says, you know what, F it. I am not going to feel the pressure of Trump. I'll take the primary. I'll take the slings and arrows. And that is Congressman Tom Massie of Kentucky, right? Yeah. And what do you think? Will he survive? What do your cards say?
Tom Massie. All right. What do they say? Oh, yeah. Whatever he does, he's going to make money. He's going to make bank. He's going to be fine. Maybe not in politics. This is the 9 of pentagrams, and that it's always a money card. So, even if he loses his reelect, he will go on to be a very wealthy lobbyist or in some other field where he makes money. What's funny about him, it's like we are so unaccustomed to principled stands here in Washington, D.C. And it's funny to see someone take a principled stand and get very isolated and be sort of attacked for it.
Yeah. It's interesting that you mentioned money because he did tweet that he raised $23,000 already from GoFundMe in his effort in a primary against President Trump. Obviously, it's not quite the same thing as the $100 million that Trump already has. Well, Elon Musk pledged Trump to take on people like Thomas Massie. But, let's talk about somebody else, like the guys from the SALT states. Mike Lawler, for example. Will Mike Lawler win re-election?
What happens with Mike Lawler?
Mike Lawler is probably a majority maker, though, for the Republicans. Guys like him from my area, New York, New Jersey. Is he going to make it?
The question is, does Mike Lawler want to make it? The cards indicate that Mike Lawler is going to get his wish. But what is Mike Lawler's wish? He's also thought about running for governor. I think he's got a lot of possibilities. Does he want to get reelected to that seat? He's going to get whatever he wants. It's unclear to me what he wants.
Yeah, he wants to run for governor of New York, by the way, and he might be up against Elise Stefanik, someone who is constantly kind of kicked to the curb by the Trump world, was supposed to be UN ambassador, did not get that. So Mike Lawler has sort of fought with Trump over the state and local tax deductions because of the fact that the property taxes are so high in these states, and people want to be able to deduct their state taxes from their federal taxes. Or is it the other way around? They deduct their federal taxes from their state taxes. I can't remember.
They want to be able to deduct their state and local taxes.
Yeah. So, but he wants to run for governor, obviously. And I don't know, New York, Republican. I think Pataki, was he the last one?
Yeah, he was. And I don't know, but I'd like to see. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd like to see Stefanik make that run. I think that's an interesting move for her. And that primary would be very compelling. I think, yeah, I think it's going to be a great race if they get in.
Okay. What do your cards say for Elise Stefanik and her
All right,
future?
let's check out Elise Stefanik. What's up with her?
What's up with that?
The death card. Yeah.
Stop!
No, it does not literally mean death. It
Okay,
means
sorry.
it doesn't mean she's gonna die. No, it's okay, Congresswoman. No,
Okay.
it just means like it means like the death of your hopes and dreams in this context. Basically, like if this is what she really wants, she's not gonna get it.
Okay. How brutal will the midterms be for Republicans if they pass this bill and Medicaid is
That I
gone?
can't pull the death card twice, right?
But what if you do? I mean,
Okay, this is interesting. I think this is going to be a reset for the Republican Party, like a fresh start in a way. And I think they're going to, it could mean a couple things. It could either mean they get decimated and have to rebuild from scratch, or it could mean this is like a new iteration of the Republican Party. There's something new. They're going through changes, and it's almost like a sense of a rebirth of the party. Whether they have to self-destruct in order to get there, or if they're on a glide path to something that's bigger and better, unclear. It's a bit unclear. I would say it's like a little too unclear to know, but I see some real movement for them. Not like
sometimes a shellacking is a reorg, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Shellacking toward a reorg, exactly.
Okay, so that's what we kind of see. Okay.
Kind of, yeah. As of now.
Okay. I want to talk about Republicans and Democrats who are looking at 2028. I am fascinated by this JD Vance and Donald Trump Jr. thing. Like, it's a
Wait,
theory.
what about Rubio?
Oh yeah, I mean, we'll talk about him too.
Okay.
But like, I have a theory that that JD Vance is a placeholder for someone like Donald Trump Jr. You know what I mean? Because you never look good when you're vice president. How often do vice presidents actually run and win after?
It's been a while.
I mean, Trump will only serve one term, allegedly. Well, we could ask the cards that too. But JD Vance, like, what's his future look like? Is he just going to be kicked to the curb like Mike Pence and everyone will hate him? Or is Don, let's just do that first. What's
all right.
what's
JD Vance. JD Vance. Oh, yeah, he's going to he has a bright future. But I think it more involves his family than his political career. Things are going to go well for him. He's going to have some pretty good luck coming up. But again, I think that has more to do with his family. I don't really know what that means. Sometimes things become clear down the road, but right now I'm seeing, yeah, it looks good for him, but not necessarily in politics.
He's probably going to be a very wealthy man. I get that vibe. People like him. Rich people like him.
Yeah.
They love his story and that he can speak their speak at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, they feel good supporting him.
Yeah.
The VC guys loved him. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he has a show on Fox.
Exactly. Like a really popular show on Fox. Like something like that.
Okay, now we've got into JD. What's going on with Marco Rubio? Is he going to be put out to pasture? Is this just like, is his career over?
Let's find out, Tara. Oh no, he's good. He's in good shape. He's got power and he's got intellect, and those are going to carry him forward. He really is. Do you remember when he first ran for president? I think it was Glenn Thrush coined the phrase "small mammal strategy" that he was using to sort of get around, and he wasn't like engaging directly with like Trump and Chris Christie and those guys. He was kind of staying low and staying through the underbrush. I think he'll continue to do that. But no, the cards indicate he's in good shape and is regarded as someone who has strength and intelligence, and those are the things that are going to help him.
Got it.
So yeah, I don't see him flaming out at all.
Julie, talk to me about Donald Trump Jr. Is he going to follow in the footsteps of his father? Is this a dynasty like, the Clintons or the Bushes?
I think he's gonna lose in a battle. This is a lot of conflict. This is a lot of drama. This is no, I don't see it. I think he's going to fight and fight and fight, and he's going to be involved in a lot of fights, maybe some legal fights, maybe some actual fist fights. But no, I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, like, will his father even back him in those fights?
Oh, is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's going to be a lot of conflict there. This is a card of harmony and harmoniousness, and I think that Eric and the Trump dad are all going to be in concert with young Don.
Okay. Midterms. What do you personally want to know, Julie? I mean, it looks like you said we are reset for the Republicans, but like,
Yeah, like
gonna look
I'm
like?
very curious what that means.
Right.
All right, let's get a little more information. Ooh, I think there's going to be some scandal or gossip. I think there's going to be something sort of vicious in circulation around the midterms and circulating around the Republicans. Something that bubbles up from things that people are talking about, that kind of get into the political bloodstream. I think it's going to be something quite vicious. And I'm not sure that the Democrats are going to be the authors of it. I think it's going to be something the Republicans did or some member does that's going to become a real problem for the party in the midterms.
Interesting. And then Biden. Does the story go away or does it haunt the Democrats until 2028 and beyond?
Yeah, that's going to stick with them for a while.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's going to keep them up nights. It'll dissipate eventually, but it's not going away anytime quick.
And for the Democrats, are they going to have some sort of phoenix that rises from the ashes that we don't think about? Or is it somebody
like
that we...
unseen leader coming out of somewhere?
Yeah, is it like Obama or like some Stephen A. Smith or Mark Cuban? Who's coming? Or should we expect, Gretsch, Buttigieg, Newsom to be Pritzker of the crop?
I think the person has not presented themselves yet. This is I think Democrats are going to get through their bullshit and then someone else is going to sort of rise up to claim the mantle. Someone we don't really see yet. Someone we're not seeing or hearing from, which doesn't give them much time to surface, but still, I don't think it's going to be the usual suspects.
Marianne Williamson, it's your moment.
Yes, Tara, it's time for her to rise. Maybe she and I can pull the cards.
Mel Robbins.
Who?
Beloved.
Who? Mel Robbins?
Yeah.
Who is that even? Come here, dog.
She's a cultural leader. She's the one who gives self-help. Who doesn't love?
Right.
She has the #1 podcast in the world, self-help. Who doesn't love that?
I don't listen to podcasts.
Oh, whatever. You'll have to listen to this one because you're starring it, okay?
Yes, I do.
Can I be selfish and ask you to, maybe I don't want to know how my business is going to go, how this independent venture is going to go.
Oh, yeah, no, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
You sure?
Yeah, it's going to be good. This is a good card. Don't even worry about it. You're going to be fine. I mean, you're going to struggle. There's going to be struggles, but then in the end, you're going to win.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be calling you during those struggles, and we'll remember that card.
I'll be here.
How's your year looking, Julie? Do you even want to know? Yeah. Do you like to pull your own cards?
I don't, because I always lie to myself about what they mean. I never
Did you lie to me? Be honest, okay?
No, of course not. I'm a professional truth teller, Tara. I'm a journalist.
Oh my God,
this was the cards, except to myself.
Well, I actually have weird powers as well, but it's it's a strange power I have where I can pray for people for fertility. Women, friends of mine, multiple have had struggles getting pregnant, and I pray over them and I give them advice. And I've actually helped 4 pregnancies at this point, 1 marriage. And it's kind of like those who can't do teach. Mm-hmm. And I have helped many. And people to this day will be like, I was on my 7th round of IVF and then Tara prayed over me and it finally hit.
Well, it's no coincidence I was using this card to represent you in the reading today. And this is the queen of fertility. So I didn't even know that. And I pulled that card to mean you. And yeah, It's been in front of me this whole time. Queen.
Does that mean I
of
should go into fertility work?
Something.
I'm birthing
Everyone's gonna be
something
calling
out there.
you. Everyone's going to be calling you for fertility like sessions.
You know what? I'll be charging those, and that will keep the media business running.
Perfect.
Thank you, Julie. This was fabulous. You're the best.
Anytime.
Would love to do this I'd love to do it every day. I don't even want to walk out of my house without asking you to pull a card, frankly, but I know I can't. And by the way, you can check out Julie on Sirius POTUS channel from 3 to 6, right?
p.m. weekdays.
Her show's
No,
amazing. Top of the charts, and I'm always happy to be on. And in studio is extra fun, but she's the best.
You're the best.
Thank you for listening to the Tara Palmeri Show. Please email me if you like this episode. I think we should make it a recurring one. Julie's the best. It's tara@tarapalmeri.com. If you want to get my exclusive reporting straight to your inbox, go to tarapalmeri.com. That's TARAPALMERI.com. And you can sign up for my newsletter, The Red Letter, and you can get my exclusive reporting straight to your inbox. And it's a way to support my independent journalism. Please like this show, share it, subscribe it, send it to all your friends. That's the way we keep this going. I'll be back again this week.